What's up, Metal Summoners? It is so great as always to see you guys coming in 10 minutes late because I wouldn't shut the fuck off the air. So that's entirely my fault. But we love you guys. Thank you, as always, for supporting the show, supporting live music, supporting venues, and everything in between. It is your Island of Misfit Toys with myself and Angel, and we're going to rock out tonight and have a good time kicking off your weekend in the middle of the week like we always like to do. And we're going to jump right into a fun episode and a rocking episode that we're going to do tonight, where we get to talk a little bit about some other stuff outside of just bands, singles, albums, and tours, a little bit back behind the curtain. So we're being joined right now with Rapolla Entertainment. We've got Nick Rapolla, we've got Michael Lee joining us right now, and we're going to have some great conversation. First and foremost, gentlemen, thank you so much for rocking out with us. Welcome to the Metal Summit. It's an absolute pleasure to have you both.
Thank you. Just real quick, this monster sponsored by Alex Holmes, Apartment.
Oh wait.
Who gets? Yeah,
I'm always repping my heart.
Nice.
He works for me sometimes. I do the stuff down DC, and then we just had a show, and I love when he stops by to get anything for me because he gives me free Monster.
Nice. That's the way it is. I mean, sometimes you feel like a monster, and that's just kind of the way that it is.
Well, I'm going to do the Metal Summit. I got to have the mark of the beast.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be the Monster Summit now.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Monster Energy.
Stitched Up Heart is also sponsored by them, so yeah. Shout out to them. I hope they bring me a case too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But again, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll just kind of jump right into it. Talk a little bit about the formation of Rapolla Entertainment. Nick, you and I go way back. You know, Micah, you and I are a little bit like newer to knowing each other, but I saw you, performing on stage when you came on stage and performed with Anoxia when they were doing their set, yep. And also saw your set as well. So Micah, you and our relationship is a little bit newer. Nick, you and I go way back. But talk a little bit about like the birth of Rapolla Entertainment, how you got involved in like booking, putting on shows, because Nick, I've seen you on stage for years.
So I used to play the psychedelic blues-based rock band. We opened for like Puddle of Mud, Uncle Cracker, which I'm gonna just say that was a favorite for Brian. And I used to book a show. I used to book the band like pretty much twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. My drummer was just straight up, that's his money. So I would book that band every weekend, and Brian saw that and how good we would do. And like when I would play cover shows, I would be taking flyers or tickets or whatever. When we did the Puddle of Mud, we would tease, like when we played Fells Point, we would tease the song, and then we'd be like, hey, if you want to hear it, buy our ticket. And he saw that and he was like, hey, you'd be a great promoter. And I said, no, you're out your fucking mind. I absolutely zero fucking chance of me wanting to do this. I watched my dad do this growing up, and I knew what he went through. He did bluegrass, psychedelic rock, country, and all, but growing up into it, and Brian, he coerced me into it. Just kind of let me kind of book my own shows for the streams or 2 other bands I was working with, and then I got addicted to it. I mean, some days I get paid to go in and see a concert, and some days I pay $1,700 to see some legends play on the stage at Riker. But I still love Paul. Anyways, but Paul Reed Smith is another guy I love. He's always looked out for me. He's, phone call away when I need to get advice.
That singer he had.
Oh my God, such an amazing singer. It's probably one of my favorite singers in Baltimore. But I got addicted to it, and then with doing Rapolla, taking over, going to the Zen West and doing like almost every weekend at first. You was back then before COVID. You had Metro, you had Soundstage, you had 8x10, you had a lot of different places that people were familiar with. They wanted to play those places. So getting them hip to a new place was hard. Rihanna of Echo to Locate, which is like a little sister to me. I've known her since she was knee high to a grasshopper. Rihanna.
You call her Rihanna.
I call her Rihanna. I hate that fucking Fleetwood Mac song. So with her and with Tyler Adams of Relentless Souls, they knew what I was going through, and they were like, hey, we want to help out. So Tyler would help me kind of find newer artists that were like up and coming. Diamante, where I met you at.
Yeah.
He threw them to me and was like, hey, this is a great band. You want to get them now. They're going to grow. They're going to do great things, which they did after that. Then going into COVID, Rihanna went to Texas, which I missed her. Tyler is extremely busy with his band, doing a lot of things that are coming out for Relentless Souls. And just that stuff kind of took up their life. So when I wanted to start kind of doing more things, Malfi, of course, has been here from the start, was like just, Rapolla family, which Pat Rennie and him kind of coined that Rapolla family thing. But as we came out of COVID, I wanted to try to find new ways to do things. I'd have artists that would come to me with ideas, or shows that I can do, or different things that could work out. And I feel like Rapolla by myself is not worth shit. I think Rapolla with people like Micah, Oscar, Athena, definitely Sam, Brianna. I needed someone for Brianna, for example. I needed someone that can basically babysit a motherfucker with ADHD. She is in like every email that I have. She makes sure to stay on top of basically if I fucking forget something or I need to do something. She is really good at that. She's really good at the financial part. She got the website started. She's got me LLC'd. She's great at running shows. I can go to the Rex down in Southern Maryland, and I know I don't even need to see a text message from her. She knows how to run a shit extremely tight. She's not in a band, so that's another good part of it.
But she knows good music.
She knows great fucking music. She loves things that I don't really know, which is a lot of the bands you've seen covered in my face. She is part of the thinking process with that. Lexi, great at being a very friendly person to everybody. So when I have tours or when I have Ballyhoo come through, or if I need someone to, just basically help take care of the bands when they're there, not just as a runner, but she's presentable. She's super nice. People, if you see somebody like that versus the guy that's sitting there counting the money, you're dealing with someone that's more personable. The band is more likely to be more chill, more relaxed, enjoy themselves. Plush loves her. Ballyhoo loves her. Almost every band that she's ever worked with, she's very presentable. Sam is great at basically the same thing as Brianna. Behind the scenes for like Never Early Festival, without her, I feel like it would crumble. She's got a lot of different important roles in it. She's great at running shows too. Brianna lives 2.5 hours away. Sam's not far, so she can run a show if I can't be there. If I gotta be there with my kid, or I'm in the emergency room with Amy for another cancer thing. She's great at running shows. Micah here.
I am just the perfect diversity hire.
I need a black guy. Micah here came to me about over a year and a half ago. And this, I think it was before I brought Brianna. Yeah, this is because Brianna met me at a My Face. Came to me. He would come to me with ideas. He's good at looking, like if I sit there and I'm like, I need someone to basically go to and just like either cry to, just fucking go off on, just help me figure out shit. I'm also very military-like, so it's sometimes extremely hard, which is why Lexi comes into play, but she's a full-time teacher. Why Micah comes into play. Very personable, very easy to talk to bands, versus sometimes for me, I'm like, let's get it. Versus him, you got a military dad or something like that, didn't you?
Yeah, grandpa, uncle.
Yeah. So he's used to the military part out of me, and then he could kind of break it down so I could talk civvy. But he came to me a year and a half, maybe a little bit more ago, and he's like, I like the email shows and all, but there's bands that are not attributed. There's bands like Bless the Fall, Pierce the Veil. What else have we had on here? Even
Sleeping with Sirens.
Sleeping with Sirens.
Like all the music that every band I was in the scene told me, oh, we can't do that. Or I want to do a tribute, and every promoter, no, I'm not allowing that to be done because it's not famous enough, it's not popular enough, people don't want to see it or whatever. But no one would let me do it. You don't want to let me do it.
I told him I was gonna do it I told him, I was like, we're gonna do the first one on my near my birthday, because I think this is gonna go like dog shit. We're gonna go at the record because I don't give a fuck what happens there. Paul Manic can yell at me later.
The thing already sold out.
And yeah, the day beforehand, I probably called him about 300 times, freaking the fuck out, because it snowed its ass off, and like everything was closed. So I'm fucking freaking out. Again, the person I can call and be like, fuck, everything's gonna go wrong. And like basically tell me, Goose Fraba, calm the fuck down. You're gonna be all right.
But then he hangs up the phone, and because I'm playing the show, then I now start freaking out. Oh my God, I gotta do something. I gotta go start promoting. I gotta call. I gotta do this. I gotta send some email. I gotta send some Facebook, whatever.
Which is why it's better when you have people on your team that are not in band. Oh shit, this show's gonna cost this much money. What the fuck did you just say? Sell your ass, get on that corner. Literally, go sell at your market, get your flyers for your red jumpsuit apparatus. But the next day it was like 400 plus fucking people that were there for that show, and I go, well, okay, I was fucking wrong. And I ate my fucking words. Probably best show that I did with Dinosaurs in Paris. I'm super gonna miss Jesse. I'm definitely working with that band coming soon, but I super miss Jesse, bass player from that band. But it was probably the best show that they ever fucking did in Baltimore. Band out of PA. And people fucking slayed it.
They did Data Remember, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking slayed it. And then like they
did it better than Data Remember.
And then with Power Plant, I just kind of wanted to toy around a little bit. So with Power Plant, I wanted to see like what it's like if I do a center stage, because I'm kind of planning on doing bigger things like the Never Early Festival, and I'm like, I gotta kind of figure out how to fuck you people work, because with them I did security for the longest time, so I didn't really relate with or talk to them ever. I just knew I show up, I get paid, and I stand there and throw out college kids when they get too fucking drunk. Sometimes I miss that. I don't know if you do.
No.
No.
Some people like to fight too much.
People like to fight too much, yeah. But with the whole Rapolla thing, it's all these individuals look out for me. Like Micah fucking took care of me going down Louisiana. Without him, I'd probably be sitting in jail in Louisiana because I'm a drunk fucking idiot sometimes. Sometimes.
No comment.
Yeah, he's personable with Plush, and they relate to him and they're able to chat with him, versus me, they're just like, yeah, you're the guy that just puts us on the road and makes us money, and you're like 40 years old. Hi, Micah. So it just Rapolla family in general, it started by me, it became overwhelming as fuck, and Mouthy and kind of a little bit of Pat Rennie. And then him just barking at my door saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm going, fuck it. Yeah, here's the fucking playing field, dude. Go knock yourself out. Anytime a band, and I say this loosely, but almost anytime a band comes to me with an idea like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm going to feel the idea out. I'm more likely will give it a chance to see if it'll pass and fail. Because what's going to happen at the end of the fucking day? Like, oh my God, the show didn't go well. Okay, well, we fucking learned things. So what can we do better? So I'd say Rapolla, the whole family, they give a fuck about me. Lexi's taking care of my niece, or my daughter, which is like a niece to her. It's like a niece to him. They've looked out for me when I was going through a lot of cancer shit with my wife. My wife, like during the cancer battles, without Micah, Lexi, you were there for me. I probably would have threw up the fucking towel, because it was a lot to fucking go through. And they're just moral support, plus they look out for me, and they want Baltimore to do fucking better. Like, I know they're excited for Never Early, but they want Maryland to get fucking better. I mean, Heartbank going on tour is a great thing. Fucking Carbon Stone is on that fucking amazing festival. Like, they all want Maryland to grow. They want this to be a destination city. They want every single fucking band out there to want to come to Baltimore and fucking play here. So that's what the Rapolla family in a nutshell.
The music scene's been way too divided for way too long. And when we come together, it's like other music cities, like you go to New Orleans, you go to certain sectors and parts of New York, you go to spots where music is big and thriving, it's because they all work together to make it a big thing, to make it an event to come to. And we didn't do that. We haven't been doing that here for a long time, should I say?
I mean, yeah, we used to have Noise in the Basement every fucking Monday night. You played that.
I played the last 2 or 3 of them.
Last 2 or 3, yeah. Micah has a very good backstory. Micah's been around for longer than most people think. Yeah, I know he looks 25, but he's really only 26.
Yeah, but Fletcher's was quite a thing.
I was it was Noise in the Auto Bar.
Oh, but when they moved it to Autobar.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. I remember that. My friend Justin used to front the band Anubis. That was
I remember them.
Yeah, playing all over the place and stuff. And
I think I saw Anubis with either Murphy Stigma or they might have been Johnny Orange at that time. I'm pretty sure I saw them with Brian's old band, maybe. Or Brian booked them. I don't remember.
It was funny. One of my favorite like Fletcher's experiences is actually I was tagging along with my friend Mark because the bar of Fletcher's used to periodically show the UFC.
Yep.
So we were.
That's what I've been trying to talk fucking Poe into. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So we were popping over to Fletcher's for that, and they either decided not to show that particular card or whatever, or it ended up not being all that great. I don't totally remember, but I was like, dude, let's go upstairs and just listen to see some music and stuff like that. Let's fucking just go up there and check out Noise in the Basement or whatever. And Mark's like, cool, because we were both familiar with it. And we go up there and we walk into the venue and fucking Justin's on stage with Anubis. I'm like, oh, dude, this is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing tonight. That's my guy, dude. Like, let's.
You probably met me back then. I used to basically just fucking live at Noise in the Basement until like
I'm sure
2007 when I went in the Marine Corps. But I used to basically just live there every fucking Monday.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Beth and Kelly were like my go-tos for like wherever to go to, wherever shows to go to. They're the reason like I discovered like 51 Peg, Hailstorm, fucking Schizo Calypso, lots of other bands. And like again, like but like he's saying, like the family thing, like before COVID, when I started this whole like right before I started Rapolla, I said I'm gonna make every fucking promoter work together. And back then, like promoters had that promoter where it's my band. Like, bitch, you don't own shit. Shut up. But Rapolla does not own any band. Rapolla just manages 2 bands. But you know, back then I told Nick Volk back then, I was like, I'm gonna make Frank Lewis work with Brian. I'm gonna make Brian work with me. I'm gonna make Frank work with this person. I'm gonna make all of them work together so you can grow a fucking, you know, a better Baltimore. And Nick told me I was fucking high as a kite, and I said not yet, but pass the touchy to the right hand side. But like with the family, you know, I have different bands. Like Micah has a band, Tip of the Whisker, that's playing with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Motherfucker, I don't even remember the last. It was your birthday, I think, before COVID or after COVID.
Ooh. It was after COVID. It was like that one after.
Almas or something.
Yep.
Was it Rumors or Almas?
It was Almas. No. Because I played with Almas, and then the second time it was with Rumors. So
yes, that was Rumors. But you know, Mike has a band. He has the tribute thing that he does. He's done it up in, you know, breweries up in Bel Air. Lexi has a band. It's, you know, just kind of working with everyone to try to get everyone to work together. And I think like with Baltimore, like just Rapolla family in general is just, it's important to make all scenes fucking work together, from power metal, regular, you know, hard rock, butt rock, whatever you want to call it, alternative pop, everything, like one unit to kind of grow things better.
For sure, man. Absolutely. And before I kick it up to Angel, one other thing I wanted to cover in my segment is you had mentioned, you know, when Diamante came through, and that was one of the times that you and I really got to hang out. But the reason I also bring that up is you had mentioned all these, you know, these great venues that Baltimore has or had. Some we still do, some we don't. And Zen
I miss the fuck out of Sonar, dude.
Sonar. Yeah.
I miss Sonar. It's a fucking vacant building, dude. If I had $1 million, I would just buy that bitch.
I think the Sonar was the first concert I ever went to in Baltimore was at Sonar.
Nice.
Technically, it was like a big festival thing, and Sleeping with Sirens was playing, and that's why I went.
I saw
Oh, that's
Caesar,
awesome.
Chevelle, Shinedown. I saw a lot of bands there.
Oh yeah, no. So Sonar, I love that. Everything from like Down in the Melvins to like Duran Gray to him to
I mean,
when.
don't get me wrong. I love Soundstage too. It's like
Yeah.
right across, right there. But it is the memories of Sonar. I do love, miss the fuck out of it.
Actually, I had more memories at Downstage than
Yeah, I have more memories of Soundstage at this point too.
and I've never played Sonar. They were already shut down. But
Yeah. I would have loved for Bourbon Street down there to have lived a slightly longer life as well too. But bringing it back to Zen West, so like, what can you tell us about what you've witnessed firsthand in the transformation that Zen West has done? Because I mean, I was there at Zen West when they were really just kind of doing shows
twinkly lights
here and then, when it was like, just kind of casual blinky light style, versus when you go to a Zen West show now where there really is some true production value behind it.
So Poe is he comes from Texas. He comes from Austin, Music City, and he loves music. He's been here, I think, since the early '90s. I remember him showing me a ticket for Nine Inch Nails playing. I don't remember what it used to be called, but it's literally what Tin Roof is in Power Plant.
Oh,
and he's huge into music. That's why there's a lot of music stuff in the clandestino or speakeasy, as you call it.
yeah.
And a friend of mine, Hall Williams, loved the guy to death, came to me and said, "Hey, look, we do this Taco Tuesday thing. Would you come by? I want you to talk to the owner." I was still working with Brian at the time, and I came and talked to Poe, and I saw what the potential was. I walked around that bitch a couple times, and I was like, if we knock this wall out, if this goes down, if this happens, yada, yada, yada. And I talked to Brian, and I talked to Poe, and we started booking shows there. My first show was with Outlet, which the file that has all of the band logos that ever played there, which is like a million miles long at this point, is literally called Outlet. Very first band I had played there, did really well, but we kept trying to get people there. You have Metro Gallery and Auto Bar, which Auto Bar, again, is another place with a lot of good fucking memories. It's a solid place. But
I was there last week.
A lot of people, I opened up for Bad Flower there, so I got a good memory there. But Auto Bar and 8x10, a bunch of other venues that were around there, it was hard to get people to you're selling a taco joint. At the end of the day, you're selling a taco joint that has twinkly lights. So with Tyler, he threw me Diamante. I don't know if we were off the cuff or on the cuff when we said this. So anyways, but we, when Tyler threw me Diamante, it was like, go after this band. It was one of the very first big bands that we went after.
Yeah.
And well, for that size of space at that time. And it did really well. So it kind of grew more attention to it. During COVID, Poe and I literally did not think it was going to be that long, even though it was a wonderful 2 years taking shrooms and playing Red Dead Redemption. Probably one of my best mental years of my life in a long while. But when that happened, he had a certain amount of money. Instead of spending every dollar kid or whatever, he would save up money so he could try to build onto this place, get better equipment, do what he needs to do with the stage. He sent me a picture that he had knocked down that wall. That I told him, I was like, if you knock down this wall, it'd be fucking great. He had knocked down that wall. I come in, he's already showing me he's setting up the back bar. He's showing me that he's hollowed out this fucking, used to be a closet, now it's the walkway to go to the back room that the band's called the green room. Showed me that, he's doing the phone booth thing where the bands go down the phone booth to go into the green room. And he's showing me all this shit. And I'm like, the fuck are you doing? He's like, COVID won't be that long. A year later, 1 year later, we come back into the swing of things and we got, the kind of show. We were doing streaming shows, but when we first started trying to hit the fucking pavement running, I called up Imran, he was the agent of Attack, and I said, bro, I want to put this fucking here. I've done Goodbye You, worked with The Wake It Last, worked with all these different bands. I've done Goodbye You. Give me this cookie. once we put that there, it really kind of opened up the fucking eyes to people of what that place is capable of. Got Ballyhoo in there. That was thanks to Frank Everly. And, just opening up the eyes to it being something that can fucking hold bands like that. It's this intimate experience that some bands fucking absolutely love, especially like bands like Cold. They're on, soundstage, all these different larger venues. This gives them more of an in-touch person kind of thing, which fans absolutely love. So transformation from get-go, I would say, thanks to Poe and a couple other people, it's become a fucking beast, and I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't trade anything I've ever done in that thing for the world.
Right on, man. Awesome. Thank you, baby.
No matter if I've lost thousands of dollars doing shows or not. That promoters make all the money.
Oh no, that's just mostly our
Oh yeah, no, trust me, that's coming in the next segment. Angel, my good man, it's right up to you, my friend.
Yeah, just loving all of the stories. I just want to thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm fucking honored to be part of this. You have some fucking great bands that have been on this. Jay, I absolutely love every time I see him, and I love being introduced to you here. I don't know if we've met each other or not. I've done a lot of drugs, so I'm sorry.
No, we haven't.
All right.
Love you too.
I don't think we have.
Don't do drugs, kid. Anyways.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Life's a drug counselor, so don't do drugs.
Say yes to a lot of sex.
Yeah. Sex and rock and roll. That's how I live. Man.
Yeah. Take away the drugs, you got more time for sex, and you got more time for rock and roll.
But what if the drugs make sex better?
Talk up. Tom ass.
Nah. It's the way you perform.
The drugs do sometimes. You ever fucked on acid?
No, you perform that makes the sex better.
True.
It's like a band. Drugs
anyway,
perform better on stage. It's the band. Am I right?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
That's right. Sometimes if there's, anyways.
I don't know. Damn. I got.
After being married, it feels like 11 years at this point. Lefty, righty, Lucy. Anyways, go ahead.
We gotta ask Keith Richards about that one. All the drugs.
That man, I don't know if that man's a doppelganger of who he used to be, but I think he's 252 years old at this point in time.
Hey,
playing 3 chords in the truth, make a fucking 30,000 year career out of it. Sorry.
What's the? Damn, now I forgot my damn question.
That's the question.
What goes? If you can just kind of talk about the behind the scenes stuff that goes into putting a show together that people don't really see or know about.
Give me an example. Do you want local or do you want tour? Like, it's two different worlds.
We could do both.
Local. For me, a lot of times when I'm working with a band, I try to do very genre oriented. Being a psychedelic blues bass band, I played a lot of shows where I was the psychedelic kind of fucking Greta Van Fleet style band, even though my singer had more balls than them. Shout out to Benny. But with that band, we had played with like some fucking metal bands. I'm like, metal bands that would have been perfect for like fucking Murder Dogs. And that was like one thing. With the local shows, I try to work with genre oriented. A lot of times, for example, Lusa has a show coming up. I'm putting her on a bill with similar bands that don't know who the fuck she is. So more so I don't try to book the same bands all the time on like the same lineup. My phase is a little different, but I don't try to do that a lot. Like I want to try to introduce new bands to new people. For example, the Paul Reed Smith show. It was loosely with genre wise, but with the music wise, you have Isaac jams out, even though he's prog. Nick jams out, even though he's alternative. Kevin does the same thing. He was more so on the lines of what PRS's music is. But with local, it's literally this. You know, you get like 3-4 bands, put them together. At the end of the day, it's still like a DIY. Doing shows at Ravens Inn before I ever did booking with Brian, you have the sound guy, you have different people you need to pay out. Sound guy, door person, sometimes a venue. Depends on what venue it is. Those venues have like ASCAP, tons of different taxes they have to pay. And that money kind of like for the rentals and stuff like that, that goes towards them being able to support the live music. Number one, because ASCAP is a fucking mafia and I don't know why they exist. But the different taxes that, different things that they have to pay, electrical bill, all that other stuff. So it's still very DIY based. Yes, I do tickets, and I've done ticket deals 10,000 different ways from the sun. There's a million ways to explain that math. But at the end of the day, with a local show, you're not paying for a tour, not paying for a rider, all this other shit. I don't have to do as many taxes. There are a little bit of taxes involved on my end. Because of course I have to pay like entertainment stuff like that. I paid like $7,000 last year in taxes due to it. But they, there's a little bit of taxes, but all that money pretty much goes towards the rim. I may take maybe a sliver, and I get it that a lot of bands can build their own shows. I've had bands in March. I have 2 shows right now. Actually, Saturday, a fucking Jimmy shows. A band coming in, they want to use the room. I tell them what it is and how much things cost, and I give it to them. As long as they're able to make that money at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. Ryan does the same thing with the hip hop stuff, which I love Ryan to death. Know him through Tim Blackman and Frank Lewis. So with me, if I build a local show, I'm mostly focusing on genre, making sure the bills are paid. And if they're not paid at the end of the day, I'm taking the bullet, because I'm not letting fucking bands come and fucking perform and have to, cough up money because it wasn't there. Yeah. I think that's the best way to explain that.
And with local shows, you got to make sure you don't put the friends next to friends. We've learned.
Yeah. Don't put the friends next to friends.
Because they share the same fan bases, which is something you don't have to worry about when you're booking, international bands and bigger bands. You can almost put anyone on the bill and it'll sell similarly. But when you're doing a local show, book too many friends, you end up with an empty room.
And also with like local shows, like for example, Lusa, even Lexi was there at one point in time, still there. Oscar, Kings of Wild Thing was there. Almost every band has been there. It's a build up process. It's like figuring out, type of promotion they do, type of things they do, where they'll fit. With Lusa, she's gone from being an original artist to being a full band. And with her being a full band, she's still kind of working out the kinks. So with Lusa, I go, all right, cool. I'm going to put you on this bill, and I'm going to introduce you to all this similar music that is going to enjoy you, plus learn, you get to know each other, and that just kind of helps grow those bands. But then you also don't want to put those same bands together again, or next to each other. With tours, let's take, for example, name a tour off the top of your head that you've seen me do. Any one of them.
Well, you did the Cold tour.
Cold. All right, that's a perfect example. Keep alcohol away from that man. He also loves my bartender, Carissa. But different story for a different day. But so Cold is going to ask for a guarantee. With the guarantee, with the price of the house, with the price of who I got to pay, along with the support bands that I'm going to pay out. In Maryland, it's done differently than some places are. In Maryland, there's more of a pay from where I've seen for where putting bands on tour. You are making more money in Maryland as being a support band as like a fuck ton of places. There was a place, for example, a tour happened where I was giving bands like fucking like 80% of a cut of every ticket they sold. And then this other city literally made every band on that bill pay $250 to be on the show.
God.
So with Cold, I had one band as one option because I had that many bands, which I appreciate Ted for because I had 4 bands on that bill, all solid bands. I have to pay out Cold at the end of the day. I have their tour manager I have to handle. I got to go buy their brown M&Ms in a brandy glass. A lot of times I try to do this thing called a buyout of the rider, but depends on how much the rider is going to be. Riders mostly are just because the band's on tour and they don't really have a fucking time to stop at a 7-Eleven and pick up, their fucking whatever the hell they need for the road. That's really what a rider is. But I have to pay for that and I have to make that amount of money. So I'm not going to give the actual total of that show because number one, I don't fucking remember. But let's say that show costs $7,000. Now I got to break down how many tickets I'm going to need to sell to make it happen. I'm going to need to, figure out advertisement. I'm going to need to figure out how much I'm paying for the person that does my stuff for advertisement, how much I'm going to pay the bands, how much the room, and I got to figure out all of that. There's a lot of math. I suck at English. I'm fucking great at math, which is why I like doing what I do. So if I have $7,000 and I have a room of 300 people, I got to break it down so at least somehow I could find a way to tell them about. Okay. Okay. So anyways, I'll answer that in a second. So I got to figure out how to break that down where I'm not eating I'm not eating bread and water for 2 weeks with 2 kids and paying my house to fucking survive. And I got to go in there and figure out, if it's going to make this much. There's things like Polestar. You can ask the agent straight up for numbers sometimes, and you can kind of base it off of that. So with Cold, and then with it being a sold out, if it's a sold out show, I got to pay them more money. They'll make more money after their guarantee. That's called a back end. That's a really fun thing to figure out, especially when you already figured out the math to cover your ass. And then you pay the bands after that. You make sure everything's paid out. Things like online tickets, sometimes it takes 2 weeks for me to get fucking paid on those. So then I got to go into the venue, even though I don't have $4,000 that might be online. I still got to find a way to go into the venue with $4,000 in my pocket. So I'm not getting my ass stomped by Cold at the end of the night in the back lot. And so that's more stressful. Local shows are a lot more they can be a lot more fun. Tours can be extremely fucking stressful because if you're working on a tour and the show is not going great and you're looking at, losing $1,000, $2,000, my job at the end of the day, I'm the person sitting at the table that takes the check away from everybody before they have to do it, and I pay it so it goes the fuck away. And that's my fucking job, which is fun sometimes, really, really fun sometimes, which is why I work side jobs and do a lot of different hustles so I can make sure I cover my fucking ass. Because at the end of the day, the musician getting paid, the house getting paid, everyone but me getting paid is fucking important at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you owe me some money for a show that just happened.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it also probably had its fair share of craziness in the last show that I saw you at with Zen West, because there were a lot of secondary just personalities in that band, because you had A Killer's Confession.
Oh, I fucking love him.
You had Aaron Nordstrom playing, but you also had you also had J-Man involved in there as well, so you had these 3 people who are already are established as their own thing. Sorry, Angel, he just kind of got me thinking about another tour he did.
That's all right, bro.
That just involves, these 3 separate entities, because you've got, of course, Aaron with Gemini syndrome, but he's doing his Aaron thing. You got, Waylon, of course, doing.
All right, I want to say one thing. That was really fucking weird to go from band, acoustic. I love Aaron, But like, and I absolutely love Gemini Syndrome. Absolutely fucking amazing individual. Actually, I thought he was a fucking homeless man when he walked in there.
Yeah,
Funny
he just
story,
has
'cause
always
he had a
had
hoodie on, a bunch of other things. I was like, who the
his
fuck is this?
little beanie with his glasses.
But then, like, when I saw who he was, I was like, oh, okay, cool. But like when he was playing, I love him to death. But I kept thinking about you would be great in the speakeasy right now. Anyways, characters with some characters. Let's say, for example, with that show, they're fucking dope as hell. Every single person in that band. I met J-Man without all of that stuff, and it threw me the fuck off. It's kind of like when I met oh god damn it, she was on the tour show. It was kicking my ass. September Morning. There we go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When I met September Morning, I met her without all of that on. So like it's like meeting a WWE wrestler like behind the scenes. You're like, oh, okay, so you do like Skittles, got you. And a normal person, you have a conversation with this person that's about to get decked out like a Christmas tree. But one of the reasons I love that is shout out to Cutthroat, because Cutthroat for a while was trying to branch out. He gets a lot of different offers that I get, and I'm a scared little bitch in December, and I'm really scared to take fucking tours in December because you got Christmas, everything like that. And he was just like, I'll fucking do it. Just run the damn show. So that was awesome. Scum, who was on that, it was the opening band. He does sound for, he did sound for the My Face Down Power Plant. He does like power plant sound and everything like that. Such an easy fucking going band. Great fucking local band. And I fucking love working with them. He kind of like, he has metal, like he could fucking fit with like in Dying Arms, but then he has like, he can also do kind of like the juggalo style of metal. And he kind of went in the middle of those. He was trying to feel out the crowd to see like which one they like, because you got these people in makeup. But that tour was extremely successful for being in December, and it made me go, fuck, I should have took this. But hey, Johnny Another Cut, Mr. Johnny Cut made his money. There's a question that was asked about Korn, about the rider. There's a band called Yam Yam, a jam band out of PA, that the first time they ever played for me, they sent me a rider. I'm very, with fucking paperwork, I'm anal retentive. Even though I have a 3rd grade level of reading, I'm very anal retentive. But they sent me a rider and said, Tom is allergic to corn. No corn can be present around him. Like no corn, any of this, like don't fucking have corn at all. And I'm reading this and I'm like, dude, you're in a taco fucking restaurant. There's corn in every fucking thing. So I call up the agent and they're like, no, Tom's fucking with you. I'm like, okay, well, Delightfully Deranged, I was talking to them about it. Joe went and got like cornflakes. I went and got corn pops. And we decided to fuck with them in return and give them a bunch of corn shit in their fucking, like, I think I even played like for 30 minutes a fucking Corn album during in between bands. I was like, motherfucker. But to answer the Corn question, I'm very, like, when it comes to riders, I'm like super anal retentive. All paperwork, I'm really anal retentive. I read everything with a fine comb. After you signed your life away for 4 years to the United States Marine Corps, a contract I'm extremely fucking thorough with.
Yeah, man. No, for sure, dude. Right back up to Angel. Appreciate you, dude.
What's the farthest that a band has driven to Maryland to play a show?
A band or a man?
A band.
A band?
The farthest that has traveled.
California.
Damn.
Yeah, their tour started in California.
Oh.
They were like a 3rd band. I kicked my own ass and not remember it. They were like out of fucking Northern California. The tour started there. So they drove all the way from California to there. Yeah. That'd be the furthest. The furthest a band has actually come, which would be flying and driving. Power Man 5000 show. I can't remember their name, but they were they were French Canadian and they came over.
Yeah,
they came over from fucking France that day. Like they flew over to start their tour and like drove around. They barely spoke any English.
They're really cool. They didn't like.
They're really cool. They didn't. I
like
don't think they liked me. I think they just
like
played
me.
it off.
They came out there and said, "You let him do that? Is that some marijuana? You let him do that?
You let them smoke weed? Yeah, it's legal here, man." Yeah. So from France to here, via the furthest.
Wow.
Yeah. Good old weed.
Little culture shock. Never hurt anybody. It's fine.
You should have been there for Brian and I went down to the fucking basement with fucking Afroman, got the fucking spark out within. I go down there, he's like, let me get this straight. You probably just fucking booked me because you wanted me to roll your joint. I was like, yeah, a couple of them wired. Here's your money, but rolling my joint.
Any crazy fun stories concerning bands, just of things that have happened before shows or during shows?
That they're ones that you can actually probably talk about.
What's the craziest good one you've heard out of me? Good one.
My favorite one's the Attack Attack.
The Attack Attack?
The Attack
How's that
Attack's my
good?
favorite.
Anyways, go ahead.
Because it's legendary.
Like, you know what
Attack
happened.
Attack completely destroyed Zen West. Scammed us out of what, triple money for their payment after the show.
That got
After destroying the entire venue, got paid triple. Yeah, it was fun night.
Okay, so we're gonna call it as a crazy bad story. So crazy bad story is I had 103 fucking degree temperature, and I left Tyler Adams in charge. The band on the show, which I also learned never have the band that's on the show run the show, which is a very horrible fucking idea. It's okay, we all learned. Again, I was a Marine. I ate a lot of crayons. Anyway, so when they came in, everything was fine. I stayed up until Conquer Divide, and I left out. I pretty much hid somewhere so no one was around me. Just kind of hid there so no one could deal with me. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to be there in case shit hit the fan. And I was like, nah, everything's fine. Conquer Divide is like the second to last band to go on. Long and behold, after I leave, my security says, fuck you, kind of turns her back. The crowd jumps the fucking fences. They're on the fucking stage. They're stage diving. People are getting fucked up. There's blood going everywhere. Fucking people throwing up. People slipping in fucking alcohol and shit like that through the back door. And my security just said, you know what? Fuck you. We're not paying enough for this shit. So by the end of that show, you had 3 fucking ambulances. You had the fucking fire marshal. You had the police show up. You had the liquor board show up. You had Poe ready to fucking kill me. You had every agent ringing my phone off the hook. I wake up the next day to so like Poe took care of everything because we had already paid everybody, but like there was lost in translation due to the fact that someone that was running the show got fucking drunk as shit and blamed Sam for stealing the money box. I'm saying that just in case you watch this. Sam is great to run shows. Put her ass in charge. But the person gets drunk. The person can't access emails. Money doesn't go to where it needs to go. People are fucking mad as shit. Poe pays everything out. Get everything done. The next day I wake up to, all right, so you paid these bands? Yes, Poe. Here's this. Here's that. Cool. Called his fucking agents. Everything got straightened out. Everything was kosher at the end of it. The guys from Attack, shot me like an email after that. Was like, that was a fucking epic show. It's basically what they said. Like, this is a fucking epic show. Thank you very much. Like, there was no love lost in it, but I learned a very valuable lesson by putting a band like Attack at Zemless. Actually hire real fucking security. Don't ask my trash guys that worked my side job to do my fucking security.
I think you actually started putting me on security after that.
Oh yeah, you got thrown on security. I think like 6 people got thrown on security. Shit.
Hey, I've taken some punches for Zen West.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy good story. Sumo Psycho with Awake at Last. That would be a crazy good story because absolutely I love Sky to death. Feeling for their drummer right now, and I shot Sky a message not too long ago, telling them like anything they needed. Their drummer recently got in an accident, but it's really sad. But like I don't want to go into sad shit. So Sky is like I've always been a huge fucking fan of them, and when Sky came in, it was one of those like working in this industry. It's hard sometimes for you not to pull a Wayne's World and go, "I'm not worthy." When her and Icon for Hire are together, that was like fucking like orgasmic to my fucking ears. Like I love that style of music. I love those bands. Then you add like Eric Blackway, Imran, all those guys from Awake at Last. Fucking amazing. Had Echo Locate. The craziest good fucking thing was I had a friend of mine that plays in a pop punk band called Statements. This is what's crazy good. He told me for the longest time, he's like, I know that she does that get down on the floor thing and jump up. Fuck you, I'm not doing that. This isn't my style of music. Crazy good story was watching Josh Pelk get down. There's still a picture of it. Get down and get the fucking crowd riled up and start a fucking mosh pit. And I'm like, there's a pop punk guy right now starting a mosh pit to a metal fucking band. And like that pit was awesome. You had Sky in the fucking pit with the microphone, not trying to get knocked over. You had my wife fucking trying to stay out of it, but also trying to get into it. And that was a very safe and good experience with mosh pits. That was fucking epic to watch. Another crazy good story was getting paid to go to Louisiana because I booked the fucking band down there. But then I had a hurricane. Anyways.
Yeah. So that's not a good story. That's bad.
It turned into a shitty story, but it was a good story.
Yeah, being trapped in the airport for 48 hours, not fun.
We only had $186 in our pocket.
Yeah, by the end of spending.
And the fucking hotel got flooded.
What?
So we stayed in the hotel and we had to stay an extra day, still also pay for it. Because they're like, we don't care if the lights go out. We're going to charge you, bitch.
Like,
we were better in the airport.
Like, we had no money. We literally spent like $1,000 to $1,500 alone on alcohol.
I got paid to go down there, but I blew all the money I got paid.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Being able to be drunk in the streets is not a good idea.
Walking around Bourbon Street, the vampire bars down there. Fucking loved all those speakeasies. Jay, have you ever been to Louisiana?
No, I've been in talks recent. So my favorite shop in Salem, Massachusetts, like that's where I'm from, is a place called Vamp Fangs, and I've gotten to know the owners kind of over the years. I'm in talks with them to get them on the show, and they do a series of events called Endless Night. In fact, Megan and I are going to their event in May, so we're really looking forward to that. But I was talking with Ben and Lex about how to get involved with them as like a host, kind of like personality, since that's kind of what I do outside of here with my horror show and stuff is being a vampire personality. And I was trying to find out if there was any particular criteria that you need to have like this many followers, or do you have to be this type of celebrity? Because the fact of the matter is like, Vamp Fangs has a great reputation. The Endless Nights things are very well received and are awesome. So, and Lex was a doll. She was like, no, we don't look at people that way. Like, you don't have to be this level or that to be involved in us. We have our like core group of hosts that we're used to having all the time. Like, they bring in Danny Devine from the UK, if you're familiar with her at all. But she's been working with Endless Nights forever. But anyway, she was like, just reach out to us. We tend to host the Salem ones because that's home. It's easy for us, but reach out to us about other events. And anyway, me, Angel, and Megan went to LA not that long ago, but I've never been to New Orleans. I've never been down there. And they do an Endless Nights New Orleans Vampire Ball. So that's the one that I kind of have on my radar as the first one I kind of want to try to work with, so I can go down there. But I am very much familiar with like the Vampire Cafe, and I'm aware of the Vampire Speakeasy. I would just need to find it and go to it.
We went to them.
I highly recommend.
You still have your little card.
I still have those. I still have all the cards I collect, except for the one they stole back from me and would not let me keep because we actually went to the secret vampire den. But I highly recommend going, though I will never go back.
Well, Lisa, who's watching the show right now, mentioned that she likes my mug. I got this recently. It's my favorite wine glass, my little Bat Wings wine glass. It's my favorite glass.
I would have broken that immediately. I can't have things like that.
We got to Louisiana. He needed to find green, even though he probably could have just got through the fucking shit coming there, not leaving, but coming there. It wouldn't have been an issue. So he needed to find green because I like to drink. He likes to smoke, which is the perfect combination. So he likes to smoke, and he's trying to find this. But at the same time, I wanted to go to the vampire restaurant they had. They're like, hey, we got the speakeasy thing you can go to. And I'm like, speakeasy? I go to this one thing. They give me another card. Go to this other thing. And we went to this top floor, very vintage 20 style spot where I was just like, this is way I'm too white trash to be in here right now.
It was very elegant.
It was extremely elegant. Extremely $19 a fucking glass. But it was that.
It was something straight out of Interview with the Vampire. It was great.
Yeah, my favorite part of it is in Red Dead, you find this vampire in the video game, and where the one spot was that you have to go to get the first card is on the map is kind of where you find the vampire guy on Red Dead. So I kept telling him, I was like, thank God I'm not on Asda being here because I would just be tripped the fuck out by all these different Red Dead things going on right now.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Hell yeah. Right back up to Angel.
Oh, man, these rock shows are something else. People buy the ticket, they go to the show. So speaking of that, there's always a debate of buying the tickets right now as opposed to people buying the tickets at the last minute. What's the headache of people buying tickets on the day of the show?
I don't hate you last minute buyers because I'm similar to. I don't. But I also do hate you.
But they pay more money.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference to the customer is you're paying more money. The difference with sometimes you have support bands where I was raised differently by different places I played. You showed up to load in, you turn in your tickets, you turn in your money. There's no more. You can get people in for the $15 thing, and that's been a consistent between me and the old school people in Rapolla. It's been a consistent kind of go back and forth. If I'm gonna keep doing it, but sometimes with a local band, you can hit them up and they'll be like, yeah, dude, don't worry about the fucking 27. Just throw me this, and I'll get you on the thing. So one, that's a thing to look for if you ever do these any tours whatsoever, any venues whatsoever. I'm not sure who does and doesn't do it, but there's a lot of times where it's a lot easier to buy through a local.
Always buy your ticket through one of the local bands. You will always get it cheaper. I never sell a ticket for at price to anyone who buys a ticket from me ever. Any band who does that is stupid.
I was selling with Puddle of Mud was $27 a fucking ticket when I worked with Brian. Was opening for them and performing with the streams. It was $27 a ticket, but my cut was I made $7 or $8 per ticket at a certain rate. So I just cut the $8 and was selling them for less. So I'm like a scalper in a way.
You'll
so buy through the local, they'll probably hook you up. More likely. The buying online is taxed. I hate the fucking tax bullshit. As a Marine, fuck you, government. Why the fuck does ASCAP and all that other shit, fucking mafia ass motherfuckers? But with online, it's taxes. So if I make $7,000 on a show, I have to tell the government I make $7,000 on the show, even though it's none of your fucking business. So I would say if you're gonna buy in advance, if you can buy it through a local, buy it through a local. It's typically cheaper depending on the band. Buy it in advance. It also tells us, it gives us a better number. If I go into a show where I got 20 people bought online, and then at the end of the day, I end up with close to 200 people due to walk-ups, my bartenders want to kill me because of how I staffed it or how they staffed it. And I was scared out of my mind until the end of that fucking show. So buy in advance, please and thank you. Pretty please. With sugar on top. Don't buy online. Buy through the fucking local. Fuck the taxes.
Plus, locals get stiff if you don't buy from them, so buy from them.
Yeah, fuck you. They get stiffed.
Yeah, because then all the money goes to the headliner. All the money goes to the big band that came to support.
Yeah, all the money goes to the promoter and to the to the headlining band. All of it goes.
That's something all bands should learn. Promoters don't make money.
Fuck no.
Promoters don't make money. It's the same as being in a band. You're not making money until you hit it big. It's just
until you're fucking the Rolling Stones. Keep a day job.
We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, no. Anyways, like the question though. Buy in advance.
Yep, cool. And I think that's important. I mean, I was hosting Whiskey Grin Saturday as a host, and it was just kind of good to kind of see that, because it's like up in Violent, which is it's like a city, but outside the city is nothing but farm area. So it was just kind of really cool to kind of see a cool rock show.
Another thing I'll hit on with the buying in advance, all that is like, for example, Heartband is on tour, did a little introduction with the agent and all that. They were seeking bands. I said, fuck it, threw them our way, and they picked them up and said, you know, your stuff is fire. Picked them up for the tour, which is fucking awesome. But those bands that are like third, fourth on those, they're making peanuts. A lot of them are making enough to put fucking gas in their car and fucking make the next town. So another thing I would say is buy fucking merch. And anytime you see like bands in general, like Zen West in general, in a nutshell, buy their fucking merch. I mean, I'm literally wearing band merch as I say that. Like, that is the best way. Like, I get it. You want to see Cold, or you want to get I saw like 2 comments for the red jumpsuit apparatus, which I'm giving 2 free tickets away to. He can take care of it. By the way, the keyword is Luca, or not Luca. Sorry, Luna. The keyword's Luna. Anyways, but for all those bands, they're like, oh well, you know, 4 opening bands, yada yada yada. That's cool. Red jumpsuit apparatus at one point in time was the 4th band on the list. I saw fucking Stitched Up Heart on a 5-band bill. They were the second. Like, you had the opener, and then you had that. No one who the fuck they were at that point. I opened up for Bad Flower, Autobar. None of their shit was on 98 Rock at that point in time. If you see bands in small spaces, Autobar, fucking Zen West, 8x10, buy their fucking merch. Because sometimes on those shows, they're making what they get, but buying their merch is the best way to support the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Cool. Jay, right back up to you.
All right, no problem. So when this conversation about money and how important it is, and supporting the bands and buying merch, and how people get paid versus do they get paid, or how they get paid. So why don't we just cover a more recent taboo piece of news, because people are going to want to know.
You mean the Baltimore Sun paper?
Absolutely.
You know what I want? You know what I want to do
with the Baltimore Sun?
I want to do this. I'm not dodging the questions. I will answer if I need to. I'd rather a band, a person that's been playing music since probably when Lexi was born. She's like 18, right? I don't know. She's like a fucking child to me, like a baby. I'd rather him, because number one, weren't you in a band with this motherfucker? You were in a band with Andrew, weren't you? When they were called Methods of Friction, weren't you? Then they became whatever the fuck they were. And then their bass player's gone now too, which him and I are great people. Drummer, good fucking person. Bought me the fucking laptop that's sitting right fucking here as a gift, actually. So I'd rather he answer this question.
All right. So, Michael, what the fuck happened with the Baltimore Sun?
I have no idea what actually happened. I got sent that article and said, hey, isn't this your old guitar player? And I'm like, oh, shit. What? I guess he claimed that promoters in Baltimore are gatekeeping musicians somehow. and not paying them and putting on shows and hawking all the money.
Right. Pepsi, you want something to drink?
Yeah, Sprite. Which makes no sense. It's like I don't want to crap on anybody or say any, but
Sure.
he's coming from a place of you're playing in a band and you play a show that didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Your band's resurgence didn't go the way you wanted it to go. I left the band because I could see that the ideas being presented and the way things were going, that, oh, this isn't going to go well. They're not listening to me. They're not listening to the advice I'm giving. They're not listening to, so I need to get out of here. So that's why I left in the first place. So to have a show that doesn't go your way, put on multiple shows that doesn't go your way. And then instead of going, well, what can we do as a band to make this better? You go to the Baltimore Sun and publish an entire article from a jaded stance and blame the promoters and blame the venues. No.
I take all the money.
It's complete bullshit.
Give me all your money.
It's complete bullshit.
Give me all your money.
Like when we started working on my phase, when that idea came, when I presented that idea, it was designed in a specific way to unite musicians, to bring different scenes together, because you had metal. Yeah, we got metal, but you got metalcore, you got death metal, you got punk, you got pop punk, that's all sorts of things that can, so having a passageway where all of them can come together and express themselves through something that's probably where they can be seen in front of people that expresses their original music as well. Every band has to be original. Your covers kind of have to represent you as a band, who you are, and what got you to become a band to help bring the music community together. They're just destroying the music community, tearing it apart, blaming promoters and venues that gave them a shot, that gave them a chance to put on their own show, not be under a promoter. I think they put out the room, put on their own show, right? They put on their own show.
Doesn't that make him the promoter?
So technically, you're the promoter of your own event. Yet you're blaming a promoter that had nothing to do with your event. They just let you do what you did. That makes no sense. Right. So shame on the Baltimore Sun for even publishing that and not speaking to actual people in the trenches of the music scene, right, trying to make it better, and then just like putting a negative light on it. It just that hurt. Like that actually hurt.
What? Yeah. Like, I mean, he has some.
Like there are points that can be relevant, but they're not relevant to the promoter or the actual venue. Like the gatekeeping going on in the music scene is not Baltimore specific. That is because there was a huge transition that took place that got magnified over COVID, where everything's on TikTok and Instagram. So bands that kick butt live take a back seat to a band that can just get a bunch of clicks on the internet. That's what has become the gatekeeper of the music scene, not a promoter or a venue. They just simply have to book the bands that want to play to make them some money.
On Instagram.
Like, what would you guys, like Micah, Nick, what would you guys say is probably just the biggest like misconception about what you guys do? Like about what a promoter actually does. You know what I mean?
So
I'll let you do this one. You gave me that one. You got this about a couple times.
The word promoter. All right. So, do you call a janitor a mop or a mopper? No, right? No. So I'm an event organizer, event coordinator, fucking party planner. I came from the chef world, so did he. I gave up making a fuck ton of money to do weddings and shit because I wanted my weekends to do music because I love this. Number one. I could go right back to that and be perfectly fine and not be in this music scene and make more money than I do as a promoter. Promoter or promotions. A lot of times on contracts, some shows I'm not doing, especially like Never Early, I'm not correcting it, but a lot of times I make that fucking thing say event organizer because promotion is part of the job. For example, fucking, let's see here, my phase. One of the reasons I fucking love Harp Empty Death, why I love him, why I love a lot of motherfuckers I've done my phase, done a lot of different shows, is they guerrilla market. They hit the streets. They do flyers. I do that shit too. I constantly talk about it. Like, I make something like that's my thing. Like, that's the thing I'm going to keep fucking talking about. Like, you will not be able to escape the fact that I'm saying February 15th for Love of Metal. A woman you should talk to on the show, Nina, of Sound of Thunder. She would love everything that you do, Jay. But I'm never going to shut up about it. That's promotion. That's part of my job. That's like this much of a job. The misconception, the biggest misconception is that at the end of the day, I'm sitting there behind closed doors with all the money, and I'm going, fuck all of you. You're a bunch of whores. I put you out on the corner and made all of your money. Bro, I lost, let's see, last year alone, the biggest loss I had was $4,500. The venue didn't see that. The bands didn't see that. Only one band, love you. Only one band heard. All right, love you. One band, the one band that heard out of it was him, but he heard me complain about it. But I lost $4,500. No one saw that. The biggest misconception is the fact that at the end of the day, when that show has lost a fuck ton of money, the venue has not took it. The bands have not took it. I took it. I took that hit. I made sure that was paid. And that is the biggest misconception.
Right. There's also the whole click thing where they go, oh, you keep booking this band or you keep looking out for that band. You don't look out for us. You don't look out for this. And I guess in a sense, it kind of does exist, but it's not what people think. People think, oh, there's a club. You got to be in the club. But technically there is a club, and that club is work your ass off.
Yeah.
Do something, present something worth selling, worth promoting, worth something.
Devil in the Sky,
and you will get the shot, guaranteed every time.
Yep.
Lefty. There's a lot of bands that do the grind. I hate Instagram. I hate all this social media. I miss the old days. I'm gonna sound like a boomer. I don't like the number games, but bands like Harpent, the reason why they got picked up for a tour is TikTok, all their other numbers are there. Their music is there. The way they promote is there. They work their ass off. I've taken bands and I've built them up from ground zero. Upside just played Soundstage. People are finally starting, people are more so hearing about Upside. They were on the My Phase. They started with the Zen West show. They worked their tail off. I went into My Phase at Power Plant Live knowing that Upside took over all of Power Plant's Instagram by the way that they grind and connected with people and got in there. And they literally, all of Power Plant stories that day were about My Phase. And that is that hard work, that determination, you put in the work, you should be rewarded by it. There's fans out there like, hey, why haven't I gotten this, dude? You got a Facebook, you don't even have an Instagram, your music hasn't even really been put out. And then when I throw you on a show, you might throw a flyer, but don't you really do much work outside of that? And I mean, I get it that my job is also to promote it, and that is my job to try to push things. I even posted the show that the dude had for Methods of Friction on Zen West's page. Made sure Zen West shared it. And he thought that I was taken away from him because I had a country girl in the other room. Sorry, dude. Doing acoustic apparently. But I think the biggest misconception is that with that is oh well, you're in a clique, you're got to be cool or whatever. No, just work your ass off, and I if you work your ass off, I'm gonna do everything I can for you.
And there's one caveat: be extremely talented.
Yeah, that too. It works. I'm not gonna throw
Maybe you might not have to work as hard because then you're easier to sell.
I'm not gonna throw you on tour because you can't sing on key while you're on stage the entire time.
No, but I definitely know what you mean about when you bands that are putting in the work and putting in the grind and just building something up. So there's a band who I absolutely love to death, love them ever since they were in Ground Zero, and they've been through some shit. And it's a band called Vampires Everywhere, who's one of my very favorite bands.
Will not leave me alone about that damn band.
I was at a show of theirs. They were awesome.
Yeah,
awesome, dude. They were just awesome.
So it's bad enough that now Mike is right next to you because now you're going to get it again, Nick. So I saw those guys way the hell back in the day when they were, part of kind of that little Hot Topic explosion, way back in the early 2000s. So I saw them for the first time at the Wrecker. They were opening up for Aiden And I was like, wow, I really like these guys. I like the stage, I like the style, and all that. And then I saw them not that long after that in Philadelphia, opening up for Wednesday. And then they played a now dead venue 2 minutes from a house called House of Rock. It was like the Sunset Beach Club, then it was House of Rock, then it was like Dudley's, and now it's called Sizzle. It's just it's like whatever. But anyway,
Brianna Myers, look at the comments right now. Brianna Myers, I love you.
Yeah,
Nice.
represent.
So I'm a OG. I'm a ground level guy with those guys. And anyway, things just started happening. The band kind of disintegrated after the second album. Michael started doing a band called The Killing Lights that I thought, was really cool. And that only lasted for like an EP. And then he brought back and did kind of a secret album with VE called Ritual. Then VE was gone again. He did a band for 2 albums that I fucking love. I love them. They were called Dead Girls Academy, which was a little bit more radio friendly. And anyway, my point to the story is he started releasing music again under Vampires Everywhere. And then the grind has started and subsequently really paid off because, he was still playing like those smaller venues, but now it's just bigger and better and constant things. They went to Japan. They've been living on tours with Alisana. They're currently they're on the West Coast right now with Priest and Julian Kay. And then they're about to come back onto the East Coast. I believe they're doing their own headlining tour. I think it's called the Nocturna or Nocturnal Tour or something. With a couple of other bands that I'm just drawing a blank on. But anyway, it's just kind of one of those things where they went through a whole different variations of like crazy and crazy situations. But like that grind has just always been there from all the socials, from making sure their music's accessible, whether it's all on the streaming platforms, being able to just do little things like, when like I put out, like guest announcements for the show, on things like Instagram, I like being able to have one of their songs playing on like that Instagram post. And not every band makes their music like actually available. Actually, our guest for next week, because the band went on like a major hiatus, I ended up putting a song on his announcement that was a song they covered, but it was by the original band because his music wasn't coming up as choices on IG. And I'm like, I need to be able to play your music while people are looking at your poster, bro. But anyway, little stuff like that. So, my short little story, of course, typically turned long-winded as usual, but I love the grind and ultimately really, really love the payout that VE is getting because those guys are also all dolls. They're so cool. They're really nice. I've known Michael in particular for many, many years, obviously, but the current lineup of the band, the guys are they're all sweethearts, and I'm really stoked that the band is just a thing.
I can't talk about bands that are on it, but I can talk about bands that are not on it. So, I think so.
Leave it on.
So when I first met Brianna, she came to me at my face, and she's like, "I want to learn about this. I want to learn the back of it, and like how all this back, like the things in the back work, and like paperwork that goes into it, building the show, all this other stuff." And I look at her and I go, "I'm gonna give you 30 days before you say fuck this and leave." I'll give you some chances. So, I kind of threw some different curveballs at her. And as I'm working with her, I love Orlando to death. Dark Star is one of the best promoting companies for, that. How many different genres of metal I could name that he does, but
all the good ones.
Sure. Not Megadeth. Anyways, but so she came to me and she's like, "I want Vampires, I want that band." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me see if I can do that." So, I talked to that agent and I'm like trying to get with that band because that's a band that, she super wants. And, that's not a band coming to me. That's someone that's worked her ass off so far. She drives 2 hours to be at Zen West. Like the record, all that, to be there because she loves music and she loves doing this. It's been more than 30 days. Somehow she's still here. So like she introduced me to that music. Yeah, please don't leave me. No, you and Sam you're not allowed to go anywhere. Or you're here, he's stuck with me. So vampires, I got introduced. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy their music. Like with the bands that are like vampires, trying to think like even Attack, those I'm still a bass player. I'm still a musician at the end of the day, so I could find things that I enjoy. I might ignore the fact that the singer is going the whole time, and I'm not going to know the words, but I do find things that I enjoy, and I think it is really for that style of music. I think they're a really, really good band, and they're not on Never Early, but hopefully one day I'll work with them.
For sure. No, absolutely. And actually, real quick, shout out to Johnny Shivers who just popped on, who is the guest for next week. You Metal Summoners, you guys probably saw our announcement for next week's episode. So Johnny, thank you so much for popping on. But he's made his comments. He gets it. And what I was saying about his music not being available when I made the announcement, the reason I figured it wasn't is exactly what he confirmed in one of his comments, where his band Sonic Creeps is doing a relaunch, a rebirth of that band. And for him, it's not valuable to him to have a bunch of old stuff playing. I can't fully, and of course I can't fully speak for him, and I don't want to disrespect by going too far outside of my bounds. But with the passion behind the relaunch of Sonic Creeps that I know he has, it's great to have that ability to have new music and have it relevant and current, and not just resting on a bunch of other stuff. But I also didn't want his announcement being without a soundtrack to it, because I feel very strongly about a soundtrack to everybody's announcement. And his band does an absolutely bitchin' version of Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath, which is still my favorite Sabbath song. So I had that song playing as the background to his announcement, since I know they do the cover. But he was talking about in his comment there, that he had pulled that music down as they prepare for the relaunch and stuff like that. But anyway, Johnny, thank you so much for popping on and rocking out with us for a little bit, man. Can't wait to have you on next week, dude. We're going to have some fun.
I do like what he just said. Yeah. About the game, like with Instagram, with the music, it is important to put like a song behind it. Because it pops out, it gets people to pay attention. You could scroll through without, having the sounds go off, but the people that have the sound going on, it will grab their attention. Like the video that just came out for Maya Phase that we just did this past weekend. Crazy Good Story is getting pulled over and told that the system has AIDS, so you can't give us a ticket.
We're not supposed to talk about that. We're not supposed to talk about that.
He did not speed at all. It was just...
I was completely sober in every way, and I was definitely not speeding. All was great.
Yep. It was just a black man driving.
Wonderful. But no, like you said, Sonic Creeps. They used to practice out of Studio 14.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I was in the band Electric Prophets that practiced right next to them all throughout that time. I was the singer for that band. I know the Sonic Creeps. I'm excited that they're coming back.
Oh yeah. Oh no, totally. Because I know Electric Prophets very, very well.
Yeah, I was their singer for a little while.
Because I've known Charlie for many, many years, and I've known Kevin for many, many years.
I haven't seen them since I left the band.
They're playing Saturday.
No worries.
But bag of hands.
I mean, it's all love from my end.
Totally.
All love from my end.
Yeah.
I mean, Electric Prophets has been around for. Didn't you play like Ram's Head or something with them too?
Yeah. Ram's Head, the Two Noise in the Basement shows, the interview, Ram's Head, Soundstage, Fish Head, everything, everywhere.
Yeah, Fish Head.
Yeah.
That's how Brian knew you and worked with you. Because Brian worked with you before I even.
That's how I got linked with Charm City Devils when they were doing that thing. Yep.
Yeah. Bill Stone Horses.
Yeah, I love John. I love John. Known him for many, many years, and I love the fact that for the sake of that local. I love the fact that for that sake of that, because I was in it to win it right away, but I love the fact that for the sake of like that local legend thing involving with M3, that Well, of course, they don't know who the fuck I am, nor do they probably really care. But
Yeah.
I always felt that with Kix's announced retirement, Child's Play was the band.
I was
that was
just
like, they
literally
need to make Child's Play the constant M3 band, like Kix
So-
was. Of course, Child's Play is not going to close out the show. That's not their design. That's not their backstory. You know, they don't have that kind of a draw. But I love the fact that they seem to be going in that direction, because I was like, you need to make Child's Play, for lack of a better term, the new Kix when it comes to M3 specifically, having that old school 80s local legend on that show.
So it's funny, I was talking to Ronnie Youngkins on my way back from Ocean City when I picked up my puppy. Ronnie and I are working on something later on in the year, and Ronnie's been working with the Blues Vultures
Yeah.
ever since Kix, retired. Ronnie's been working with them, and I think it's really cool to see Spread Eagle as well on that, because again, Rob, who was bass player for UFL, bass player for Sebastian Bach, really good band from the '80s that I think I've seen good and bad with the M3, but I think with like some of the bands that are on there, I'm happy to see Child's Play. Of course, I saw them play numerous times. I've seen Stone Horses, Charm City Devils play. I remember when John was in a band called wait, there it is. All right, SR-71.
SR-71, yeah,
with 1985, covered by Bowling for Soup and made more famous.
Yeah, with Mitch.
Yep. And I remember seeing them play record. It was super wonderful to work with John.
My buddy Mike
the whole
Rocco
band
did
is
a lot of
great.
work with SR-71.
Jason Heiser, I got to jam with him, down at Fells Point. He is such an amazing gem. But the Child's Play, they're good. They're a solid band. For the M3 people, that's a throwback to them. I'm hoping that can help branch off to the more of the Stone Horses thing. Like they just did a tour with oh god,
Steel Panther.
yes, trying to remember. Yes, like they just did a tour with Steel Panther. They toured with Slash. They, I love that band. It was great to work with them, and back in August, solid bill. I saw some of the comments. Frank, I'm not answering the bottle thrown at my head question. Let's just say, don't get the singer of Cold drunk. And high to no promises. Any other questions we got going on?
Are venues still asking for a cut of the band's merch?
There was one. I forgot the venue.
In the middle of America, yes. In the middle of America, you're likely as a emerging touring band or a touring band in general. When I was working with the Plush Tour, there was numerous different places, even over on the West Coast, where they're still taking cuts. I do not take cuts at all. I do not, especially local bands. Like, who the fuck takes a cut out of a local band's merch? Why? Like, what's the fucking
Then
point?
you tell me they're taking a cut of my merch. I'm packing my merch up and I'm leaving. Might not even go. I literally might not even play the show. Like I'm.
You are venue doing that. A major fuck to you.
On festivals, it can be a thing. A lot of times, pretty much almost every festival, there is a cut. There's a lot of things that go into the overall cost of a festival. So yes, cuts can be there sometimes for that.
Especially a festival, you don't really pay a cut. I believe you just pay to set up your merch. It's a little different.
More like
it's a festival vibe, much different. So that makes sense for a festival.
Yeah,
to pay to set your merch up. Not really taking a cut of your merch in that case.
I'm not doing it to locals, but when you have vendors and sponsors and all the other stuff, and then you're gonna set up your merch, that comes into play. But no, I've never taken a single cut off of a band's merch for every tour that I've ever booked as Rapolla Entertainment. Every single one of them. I don't do that. Zen West does. Poe lets me play. Poe lets me play betting games with people's gambling. Poe doesn't mess with that stuff. He doesn't do any of that stuff. it's a separate entity. So, like, but do I know of still? I'm assuming some venues might. Depends on what the bands are asking for. It's extremely expensive to be a band these days, but you have to do the Spotify, you have to do all the stuff with the music, so they can ask for a good portion of money. Do I know of any venues taking merch cuts in Maryland? No. Um, I have not been part of one show where a band like the booker ever took that. And I used to work with Brian, so I'm gonna say good by his name, that I do not ever recall that ever happening. And I never take merch cuts. I don't believe in them. I think if you're doing a show, a tour, or whatever, and you have to take merch cuts, you're a shitty fucking promoter.
Actually, when Angel and I were in LA hosting a show at the Whiskey a couple of months ago, my friends and alumni of the show Illusions of Grandeur were told they were going to have to give up a portion of their merch, so they didn't sell merch. They put it back out in their van. They played the show and killed it as always, but they were like, "Okay, fine, we just won't sell merch then."
We're selling the fucking.
I go back to my car. It's like, anyone wants some merch? Come see me at my car.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what I did after the show. Before me and Megan went back to our hotel, I detoured over to I walked with Siren and CM over to their van and got my t-shirts.
Yeah,
I've seen that plenty of times actually. But yeah, in the Midwest, Middle America, California, it is a common thing. Door deals. I've seen door deals for bands that I've done $300-$400 to. Parking lot, fine, fine, yep, yeah. But yeah, exactly what he just said. But I've seen bands where I've brought them in and I've paid them, $30, $50, whatever they asked for, and then they'll go and play that same show in Middle America, and they're getting a door deal. Like, different promoters, different venues are differently, but I don't do merch cuts. I don't believe in it.
Awesome, bro. Oh, I have another question. Let's say, for an example, let's say, just throw this out. Me and Jay, we start a band. We only have 100 followers on Facebook. And we come to you saying, "Hey, can we open for any band?" What's like the requirement for a new band that no one's heard of, that only has maybe 100 likes on Facebook?
that's easy.
To get on the bill.
That's easy. Exactly what you just did. That's literally exactly what you just did. And I wish young musicians, high school age and up, know that if you have a band and first of all, you've already started and you have a social media account and you have music, you're done. You can play a show. Even if you don't need followers to play a show. The playing the show is how you get the followers.
Cool.
Nice.
So if you come to me and say if you come to me and say you've been a band for 10 years and you have 10 followers, then no, then it's a no.
We're probably a boomer band. I'm gonna say this. Zen West, if you're a young band, you're just starting out, a lot of times, majority of the time, I want to get a feel for you. See how you work, see how you promote, yada yada yada. I'm not like like I talked about earlier with the tours, there's a lot more stress to it.
Excuse me.
I'm not gonna be like, okay, cool, you can play with Wednesday 13, Mr. has 100 followers. I'm gonna want to work with you, kind of get a feel for you and how you do, and see, if there's something there, if it's gonna do well, and then from there, like, there's a lot of bands that come to me, play record, I want to play this, and I go, no, you really don't, because it's more expensive to play these places. But I'm like, if you want to, yes, we can work this out. Any band that wants to play record, bigger venues, they're gonna start out at Zen West. They're gonna play there. Because I got to get a feel from them. If I haven't worked with them, they're gonna play there. Every single band that I've ever booked outside of Stone Horses and any given since played Zen West actually. Trying to think of what bands I haven't booked at Zen West that played record, but like maybe Stone Horses, but that's like besides it. Like, I'm gonna start that band off at Zen West. I want to see how that band can do everything they're doing. It's nothing against them. It's just if I'm going to throw you at a tour, if I'm going to throw you at a more stressful event, I need to know you. Like it's literally like a job interview. Like you come in, you play. Let me see how you perform. Let's see how you play. Let's see how you promote. And I'm going to give any band in the world a shot at.
Awesome. And you know what? That's a fair thing to do. I mean, just to kind of see how they kick ass on stage. I think I remember 20 years ago when there was CDs, this band played the perfect CD. It was awesome, and then they were booked live, and it was terrible.
I saw a band. I can't remember what big band it was, but their music was great on their album.
My favorite big one that we already talked about is A Day to Remember. I went and saw them. Maybe it was because it was Warped Tour, but I was new into the heavier scene, and I'm like, oh, I love that song that they do. I love them. So I made sure I went to go catch their set. Great mosh pit, but it was the worst sounding music I've ever heard in my life. The vocals were absolute garbage. The guitar sounded like trash. I'm like, this guy can't even sing. But you listen to the album and it's all sultry and it's soulful and terrible live performance. Granted, it was Warped Tour. Everyone sounds bad at Warped Tour. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, Day to Remember didn't sound anything like their album. It sounded like a completely different band.
It was either Caesar, Chevelle, or Shinedown.
Oh, please don't say it was
I can't remember what band it was.
And Shinedown's too good. They're good.
Caesar's the one that did the song with Amy Lee, right?
Yeah, Broken.
Okay. My brain's starting to go. So it's not that band.
And it's definitely not Shinedown because they are great live. Chevelle kind of sucks live. It might have been them.
No.
I like Chevelle a lot. They suck.
My former sister-in-law, who's still like a sister to me, Maria, would know. But I went and saw this band, and I can't remember the name right now off the top of my head, probably because I want to black it out from my head. But great album. I love the band. And then I saw them live, and the guy goes up there and plays like metalcore with a 12-string electric.
Wow.
And it's just that guitar. He's trying to do the solos on this 12-string electric, and he's just drunk as hell. And I'm like, cute. So bands can be great in the studio. Bands can have great music live, and or great music like on their album, and then just be dog shit live. Misfits, I think, was one that a lot of people have quoted to being great on album, sucked in person. So even though I love every bit of the Misfits, I even have a bag I walk around with all the time with the Misfits. So
I think Motley Crue might fit that,
Well, now, yeah.
No, even back then they were always way too high to ever sound good. Way too drunk.
That's why they threw Tommy Lee on the drums and made him spin in the air. And don't mind the 40-year-old looking woman that can't sing worth a shit. Tommy Lee flying in the sky. Don't mind all of our sucky sound of music. Look at all of our lights, our twinkly lights, and our fireworks and our smoke. And like,
I mean, it's an art, because I'm the opposite. So I get there's an art both ways. I'm the opposite. I suck at recording, but I can put on a hell of a live show. But I suck at recording.
My biggest thing too is for a lot of bands too. It's like when you get 4 or 5 band bills. I get it. You want theatrics, you want your lights, you want your fancy stuff. But sometimes when you're doing shows, you have 4 or 5 bands. Is not the time to bring in all your own little light rig, your smoke, and all of this other stuff, and it's all linked up to it. Like, I get that's how you're putting on a show, but one of the biggest pet peeves I would say is like some bands, Cold, for example, I loved them for this. When they came in, they saw what they were doing. They went, nah, put all that shit back in the truck. We're giving it to you fucking raw today. Hey, I just want my lights to be like this, and this is how we're doing it. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much, because it just makes the show run so much smoothly. If you're a local emerging band, you haven't been around for like a decade or whatever, like you're just very new, you don't need synchronizing lights. You do that in your music video. That's just how I feel, but I'm a boomer. Anyways.
I'd agree too. Your fans don't want to.
It's not my job to do your sound, so I don't
Your
care.
10 fans don't want to stand there for 20 minutes while you figure out your technical difficulties.
Yeah. That would be my biggest pet peeve. It's like I need my own little sound booth. I need this. I need my fireworks. I need this and I need that. I'm like, dude, you're not a fucking WWE wrestler. Just give it to me. It should be about how you perform.
I have a yes or no question. Music festivals putting together, yes or no? Is that something?
Never Early Festival, May 31st.
And then I'm going to say no.
Did Maryland Day last year.
They're hard, they suck, they're stressful for both bands and promoters and venue alike. It is the most stressful possible event you can possibly put on. But they're fun.
Putting on a festival with Oscar, Kings of the Wild thing. He asked me to do this. And I appreciate him for that. But I'm drinking a Monster. It's 11 o'clock at night. When he goes home, I got like 20 fucking emails to answer. So yes and no. But the payoffs there when it goes extremely well. I would say good and bad about festivals. I love Maryland Day, but I don't know how to put this. Hi.
I love Maryland Day. It was great.
All right.
Everyone who did it did a great job at Maryland Day. Thanks for having me play it the many times you did.
What's the difference between a festival of 12 bands, local bands, maybe one headliner at Fishhead Cantina, and the Warped Tour? What's the difference?
Fishhead Cantina.
You're not walking miles between stages.
I'm gonna give that to him. I didn't walk it. No, what's the difference? Like, if you see 12 bands, it's an awesome time, but my cat is fucking that TV box up. Thank God I don't really matter how the TV box is that I have to return. But anyways, I've done it with Frankenfest. I love it. It's a great time. Love having all those bands together. You can get a lot of good amount of bands put together. A Warped Tour,
For
even
me,
Scout Summer Festival.
I was going to say, for me, I would assume festival. The hardest thing about festival is timing.
$10 bottled water
Is keeping
All
everybody on schedule.
Free
Not,
one. But
set times running on
don't quote
cue
me.
and stuff, because like literally one band fucks it up and the whole festival runs long.
Well,
From my own experience hosting a 3-day festival in Philadelphia, like that was one thing that I found to really be the worst. Was we had some bands that didn't have their shit together as far as getting on, getting set up, and getting their playing and getting the fuck off, and it made one of the days literally run 4 hours late.
Yeah, I've been to festivals where you got to be strict. Just as soon as they go over their time, cut them off. Sound stops. Just pull the plug. They'll get the message and get the heck off the stage. I've seen it quite a few times. Especially
that's how I was at other festivals that I was working as a stage manager, where I was that guy. I was like, why the fuck aren't you on stage playing now? But then, as a host of the festival, I'm just a paid personality. I'm just a personality. I don't have any pull as just technically as just a talent. But when I was running the stage, I'd be like, why aren't you up there playing right now? Fucking go.
I'm gonna say this on that part. Backline is important.
Yes.
Making sure that's there. Bands understanding that use the backline. I want to use my precious kit with my precious little logo on it. There's like 30 bands there. No, dude, no.
If you bands a secret, get a banner. Stand it up.
Yep.
Depends on the side.
You can put it wherever you want, anytime you want.
A lot of venues have a screen now. With
one of my friends made a cloth bass drum cover that with their logo on it that clips on. So no matter what kit he's using, the band's logo is on the front of the kit. And then he just rolls it up and shoves it in a bag.
Improvise,
That's a perfect idea.
That's a great idea.
Or a
Anyways,
t-shirt.
yeah, like I would say backline is important. My biggest thing I'm gonna say is as the promoter or whatever you want to call me, sound guys, I don't need to walk up to you to shut the fucking band up. You have the set times. Why you need me to come be the bad guy? Just hit the fucking mute button. Like why you need me to do? I never will understand. I've been doing this for a long time and I still have to go out there and be like, hi, sound guy. Oh, the band won't shut up. You have a mute button, motherfucker. What do you want me to do? Go up there? You want me to go in front of all the people that came from and piss all these people off? Yeah, okay, thanks, buddy. Just hit the mute button.
Dude, a festival cut off and muted the used recently.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, you've seen it at big festivals with famous bands where they go over their time, and as soon as they go over their time, they push that button, and the band gets it. They get off the stage.
Yeah.
They cry a little bit, and they get off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yell at whoever you want to after that. They did their job. They did what they were paid to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you're getting paid before I ever do. Anyway, sound guy. Sound guys are taking all the money. There you go, man. Not the promoter.
Let's talk about the sound. How valuable? Because we hear good stories and horror stories about the sound guy. So how valuable is the sound guy?
Extremely. I am
for the whole show.
I'm extremely picky with what I do with what sound guys I want. Now don't get me wrong, Mike started us out. Phenomenal studio person, Hypernuva Studios. If you're a band looking to record, I super suggest him. He's very, very good with money. We were working on a song with him that Lexi reminded me of, the face down thing. That,
I reminded me of that multiple times. And
dude, you guys don't need me. What do you want me for? I'm not even playing on it. Anyways, Hypernova Studios start me out. Great guy. Love the hell out of him. I've had shows where I got my ass kicked, and he was like, "Dude, just pay me in a couple weeks, you'll be all right." Never asked him to do that, but he's done it. Jimmy is a musician, gets it. So is Mike, gets it. Orlando is used to a style of music where you have 6 drum kits and all these IEM things and all this other stuff. And that man, I have seen him take a show that was running 30 minutes over, and we finished with 30 minutes left, which was the Smile Empty Soul show. Like, I walked up to the guy, I was like, dude, you still have 30 minutes. He was like, well, I played an hour of music. And I was like, looked at Orlando, like, how the fuck did you just do that? Sound guys can make it, like, sound guys are the control. They're the center. They're the heart. They're the ones that can make a My Days sound like complete dog shit, where every band has to go through 3 songs before they sound good. I love Scum, but they and like they're the most essential part. So Orlando, with Soundwise, for example, I throw. Jimmy's good at this too, but I will throw a lot of things at Orlando that I know I'm gonna have like 6 kits. And that's because of how quickly he is. It's literally all it is. Jimmy, I've thrown him the same thing. Mike, he's coming back. Mike has had those torturous shows like that, where you have all those different drum kits. You have all these things. And it's important for the promoter. Example for me, Orlando, that's why he learned sound, because he's a promoter too. Dark Star, great people. But the reason, like, that sound guy is the most important. Like, without him, I have no show. Absolutely nothing. So I'm going to take care of him more than I could take care of probably anybody else in the fucking room.
The friend to sound guy, always.
Be nice. Don't yell at him. Listen to him when he tells you to turn down your fucking amp.
No, I mean the sound quality is the fastest way to get me to leave the floor, go to the bar, and then and possibly just leave the venue completely.
I mean, I've had sound guys where Zen was, for example, you have the room, and then you have the room where the bar is. But that music is so cranked up loud. Like, you're going to hear it at the other bar. Why am I going to go in there? Why am I going to walk in there? Because you're making it that loud. So you need to know the room. You know what you're doing. If you keep it low, Scott Lang has done stuff there. Like, there's a lot of good guys that have come in there. And just knowing what the right volume is, where you want to hear the music, walk through the door. If you're sitting at the bar and you're hearing everything because the sound guy has everything cranked up too loud, You're pushing people out of the ring. If that bar wasn't there, they would just leave and go to the next bar anyways. So I'm on a strip like 8x10 where there's a bunch of different bars with music. They're out of there because it's too loud. They're not enjoying it. They're gonna go somewhere else. So yeah.
Nothing worse than a small venue where the music turned up way too loud.
God, that's hell.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Guys, it's been an absolutely killer night. On that note, though, Fangs, fans, Infernos, and all of you in between, Metal Summoners, we love you guys. It is, however, going to be last call for alcohol. Mike and Nick have been very, very gracious with their evening, and we don't want to eat all of it up more than we already have. So it is going to be last call for alcohol. For any final questions, comments, anything that you want to say to the guys before we cut them loose, now is going to be the time to get it in. Myself, Angel, we will always clear the board, but make sure that you get them in now because it is that final notification. Angel, right up to you, bud.
Just wondering, how the fuck is it 11 o'clock already?
I know, dude.
Let's see here. Me closing this out. For you metal fans, February 15th at Power Plant Live, Karma, good people you know, coming out from Philly, Sound of Thunder. Nina's fucking probably doesn't even need the microphone while she's in that room. One of the most epic fucking vocals.
I want to say voice of an angel, but I have to say voice of the devil.
The queen of the hell.
Yeah.
For you metal fans, I'm gonna say February 15th, Power Plant Live. You're 21 and over. I hate that shit. I have a child I would like to have there, but whatever. Let's say that February 8th. Definitely check out Scum, who opened up that Killer's Confession show. Fucking great band. And of course, February 28th. I gotta talk to you about that, Jay, when I get off of here. But February 28th, Relentless Souls, Amathea, fucking Decay. Like, if you like metal, you're gonna love that show too. I'm trying to read your comments right now. Sound of Thunder. Any last questions for us?
Oh, dang.
Oh, absolutely, Shivers. Thank you, bro. Holy shit. Yeah, absolutely. Send out prayers for that. Fuck. That's coming off everything that's going on out in LA and Jesus Christ.
Oh, the fires.
Oh, God, yeah.
Some of the fires. Yeah, that shit's insane.
All that stuff. Definitely crazy.
And shameless self-promotion, March 16th.
Please.
Get the date, March 16th.
If you want 2 free tickets to Sound of Thunder show February 15th and 2 free tickets to his show opening up Red Jumpsuit Apparatus when my phase links up with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. The whole point of that show.
And if you're watching this, tag them because I'm trying to get them to jump up on stage with us. Our last 3 songs are Party on Stage, and I want them to jump up on stage and have a party with us.
How many people
make dreams come true? They were my favorite band in high school.
God, I don't do sound.
I still cry to that album to this day. Every time Angels Cry come on, Guardian Angel, I still cry.
Good question.
Technically, you have dream venue for me that I have in book. The largest venue I ever want to book is Madison Square Garden. Sorry, Baltimore.
Every person's dream. I mean, come on, that's Madison Square Garden.
Dream venue right now is
the Sphere, baby,
in Maryland.
Forget everything. Dream Sphere.
The field where Mr. Mana throws his lovely little truck festival. I love that.
Okay.
Another dream venue was to do what I'm getting ready to do for Never Early Festival. I've always wanted to do that ever since I fucking worked there. I would never stop thinking about it. New York has this bowling alley thing that I saw recently where it's like a big concert venue and there's a bowling alley, and I've always wanted to do rock and bowl.
Nice.
So for any band that wants to try to figure that out, how to make that work, but like we're a bowling alley and I could throw a band in there. Awesome. Thank you. Like I loved rock and roll growing up. So I got introduced to a lot of music when I was a kid. But there's this venue in New York where March 16th is stacked, but there's a venue in New York. It's a bowling alley and a giant venue. And I saw this. There's one in Tennessee too. Oh my God. I want to book that thing. Like just bowling while you have music. I'm a boomer. I want to bowl while listening to music.
That's like the easy one. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Doing my
When
face
his family,
doing my face in the
family
that
can
way.
be fucking organized. Just let me know where to sign the paperwork.
I mean, that could go viral. We definitely got to do that.
Yeah, rock and ball. That would be
Um,
fucking dope. That's a dream of mine too. I want to do that.
Nice, man, for sure. Shivers, thanks again, man, for popping on this, man. You have yourself a great evening, bro. Can't wait to have you next week.
Nope.
I can't wait to watch it.
I'm gonna lay with Luna. We
We
can watch this on YouTube afterward, right?
Yep, you could.
All right, cool. There's a lot of people in bed right now that wanted to watch this.
Yeah.
All right.
No, absolutely. It'll live on Facebook as well. But I find our YouTube channel was really the best link to send to people.
Yeah. Because we need to boost that. Yeah, we need to boost that YouTube channel. Get them numbers.
No, absolutely.
That good old number game.
Absolutely. Angel, anything final from yourself, my friend?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I have a record release party, like band does a record release party, but kind of have it in the style that VH1 used to do, like Storytellers, where you get a couple good-looking co-hosts like Jay and myself.
Done it.
To actually ask the band's questions on stage and have it interactive where people get to ask them questions, like as long as it's a record release party.
So Brad Cox of Schizo Calypso, when he was regularly playing, he did this thing at McGurk's where they got to listen to the album and all of that, and it was open for him. And that idea spun in my head. With Pat Rennie's album release last year, I believe things run together at this point in time. But we did this speakeasy thing where it was acoustic, where they could ask questions and everything like that, and then did the bigger show. Now, if you're going to have a band that does a record release, you can have someone that's there to kind of interview, whatever. You got to remember, how much time are we about to give this record release person? Where's this venue? How many people can happen here?
I don't really see that working unless you're super famous. Everyone's going to leave. We were at Disturbed concert, and he kept talking, and we left because he kept talking. We weren't there to see talk. From a fan's perspective, we're not there to see talk.
I had to go with him. He drove me.
We're there to see you perform, and then you're talking and you're speeching and you're giving us speeches. It takes you out of the concert element and it puts you in a different mindset, which makes it hard to get back into the concert element. So by disrupting that, it might not go well.
It depends on what you're talking about. Like if it's something to the fans, something to the music, I feel like that's a little better. Disturbed likes to go on 10-minute rants about the government, dude. I just want to hear you go, wow, and shut the fuck up. Like,
but I just felt it took out of the concert. Everyone would stop their dancing, stop moving. They would listen to his speech, and then he would start performing.
I don't give a fuck what you think about politics.
Would kind of like look at each other, and it would take a while for the crowd to get back in any sort of a groove.
Fuck Trump, fuck this person, fuck what I don't give a shit about your political. I don't give a shit.
Maybe care about getting
wrong.
Honestly,
I mean, if you write it in a great form, I'll listen to it. I love Emily Wolf, and I believe in a lot of things that she believes in. So,
that was the craziest thing. The last time I saw Suicidal Tendencies is as a performer. They're an absolutely great band, but Mike would not shut the fuck up between songs.
It was the same thing when I had this band called it was September Seventh Day Slumber. There was a band before that. And this woman goes on a 10-minute rant about how Jesus can save you and Jesus loves you. And like 80 people left that show, checked out, and left. And the bartender looks at me and goes, "What the fuck just happened?" And then finds out it's because she went on a 10-minute rant about fucking Jesus Christ. Like I love God. I'm raised Catholic. My daughter's Catholic. I be religious, but yeah, the storytelling with that, Kevin Hawks thing was decent. Yeah. But I think like it's acoustic again. So I think like a full performance is better. Like what he's saying. That's like way better. Yeah. I do like that idea.
Man, I can't believe how fucking fast time went.
I know, man. Those are good.
It feels like a 10.
Yeah.
Well,
they say can't for spending 2 hours with us. Wow.
Yeah. I appreciate you. I'm gonna watch this over YouTube and hear how many dumbass fucking things came out of my mouth and probably regret almost every one of them, but hope everyone enjoyed.
Absolutely. No, for sure. Like Metal Summoners, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Great questions. Awesome interaction tonight, guys. We really appreciate you guys getting involved as always and supporting everything that Micah and Nick have got going on, not only with their bands, but with Rapolla Entertainment and everything like that. Make sure that you guys are getting out to support the live music so that they can keep doing what they're doing and giving us everything that they've been giving us. Make sure that you're checking them out on the Rapolla Entertainment Facebook. Make sure that you're hitting them up on all of their socials. Mike is available on Facebook. Nick's available on Facebook. Make sure that you guys are staying in touch, finding out about all the shows that are coming over and coming across your guys' calendars, just like are coming across ours. You can follow Angel at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. You can follow me at Salem.Vampire at Instagram. Both me and Angel are on Facebook as well. And also our colleague Psycho Steve. You can follow him on Instagram at The Real Psycho Steve. And you can also follow him on his website at Psycho Steve Presents. Most importantly, please make sure that you guys are liking, following, and sharing the Metal Summit on both Facebook and YouTube in particular, because that's where you guys are watching.
Tap that button, hit subscribe. It's over here somewhere.
Please do. Absolutely. Because that's where you guys are watching Nick and Micah right now. But also make sure that you're following us on Instagram, because that's where the guest announcements come out first. But thank you so much, Metal Summoners. We appreciate you guys. Again, great interaction. We appreciate you guys. You guys saw the guest announcement for next week. It's already out. Johnny Shivers and Sonic Creeps will be live right with us. In fact, in studio, Johnny's going to come over to my place and we're going to do the interview live from my place as well. So that's going to be a good time with that. But we'll see you guys in about a week for a brand new episode of the Metal Summit. Have a great one. Take care. Be good to each other. Have your guys yourself an amazing weekend. And again, on behalf of Micah and Nick, we really appreciate their evening. You guys take care. We'll see you in a week. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.
All right.